So this is Super Time Force from Cappy. It's coming to XBLA, and it's a game about manipulating time in a run-and-gun platformer style. So you've got 3 different character classes that you get to pick from. Every character has a primary attack and a secondary attack, and you're running through a level, shooting guys, blowing them up, committing serious time murder. But every time that you die, you get to rewind and play back with all the past versions of yourself. So if you die 20 times in a level, you're going to be playing alongside 20 versions of yourself. And every time you die, you get to pick the character that you want to play with, so you can mix and match defensive guys with offensive guys, or people with like special weapon classes. And at the same time, any character who dies, you can actually go forward, kill the enemy that would have killed them, and then save them and bring them back. It's kind of making it a bit easier because there's a whole bunch of other characters or versions of you that are killing all the enemies around you without you actually doing it.
Hi, this is Dust in Elysian. It's an action RPG with an emphasis on crazy combos, crazy action. It's an open world with a questing system. There's a large variety of areas that you can explore, NPCs. It's similar to a Metroidvania in that you collect upgrades to access new areas. And it's just meant to be, flashy for gamers of all experience levels. So this game is a bit like my love letter to old NES style games, and I just feel like two-dimensional games. It'd be amazing to see where they could go right now, and this is what I've always wanted to do. I wanted to see games to kind of go to this realm, show off this kind of action, and just visually, I think we can do so much more with the technology out there, and this is kind of what I wanted to do, to take advantage of that technology.
So Charlie Murder, it's like a punk rock themed beat 'em up brawler RPG hybrid kind of thing. It's inspired a lot as much by like beat 'em ups from the early '90s, late '80s, as it is like dungeon crawlers like Diablo and stuff like that. And like it's got the whole punk theming, but just in terms of like how it's made, it had like a really punk aesthetic. The way the co-op works, everyone kind of has, it's sort of a traditional RPG class approach to the whole brawler. So there's one guy who can take severed heads and make healing totems out of them, and then some guys can spawn like machine guns and stuff to help out everyone else as you can just spawn weapons that everyone can use. There's a lot of stuff like that. There's team up attacks. If you get a high enough combo, you can initiate a team up attack, and those are kind of like your 15 seconds of invincibility plus massive damage potential. So a lot of stuff like that's in there. Just throw a bunch of stuff in there, and if it's not fun, cut it. If it's fun, keep it, and just that's what came out.
We're here at Pax East showing off Guacamelee. So Guacamelee is it's a Metroidvania style game with a strong emphasis on brawling. So there's a lot of fighting with your fists, and then mixed into that, we also have this dimension swapping mechanic, which is unlocked part of the way through the game. What you're looking at right now is one of the temples about halfway through the game, so some of the powers have already been unlocked. You can see this, every time you see this flash, the players are actually swapping between the world of the living and the world of the dead. And you can see some of the enemies here, they're either white or black. The enemies have an affinity to one of the worlds, so they're invincible in one of the dimensions. So while you're fighting, you actually have to swap back and forth between the 2 dimensions. You can also see some platforms exist in one dimension and not in another. So as the player's jumping through the levels, they have to swap back and forth as part of the platforming. That's a basic overview of Guacamelee.
So we're checking out BitTrip Presents Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. It'll be the first HD BitTrip game. And what we're trying to do with this game is make it more fully featured. In addition to the normal moves that you will find that you're going to remember from BitTrip Runner, you can do a slide jump now and a slide kick, so you can do other moves while you're sliding. We've also introduced rails in a later level where you can grind on the rails and stuff, and then several other things that augment his usual set of skills. And then finally at the end, which you may have seen, I wasn't paying attention, there's a cannon at the end that if you get a perfect up until that point, you jump in a cannon and then you want to aim at the cannon and get a bullseye, is basically what it is. So it's familiar gameplay, but a different world, much more fully featured, HD, Kind of like all the stuff you'd want out of a downloadable Xbox Live Arcade game.